Okay, so let's proceed further. So our next goal would be to try to develop a feature that will help us to run or execute our commands on our victim machine and then get back the result to our hacker machine. So first step first, so what we can do is let's go to this loop here. So actually before going forward, let's just call this show options functions here so we know which options are available to us, and then we can go on updating this function as we move along. So we'll call this functions show options here. Sorry. And then our first case would be to run command. So we can say that if user input equals to 1, we can simply print out, for example, that we are running the system commands on victim. So instead of is, it should be if. And then we can say that else if user command or user input equals to 99, we can break it. And then instead of this condition, so we can say that if users enters an input which is wrong, we can repeat this whole process. So instead of this user input, we can simply remove it and say that else we can print out the statement that invalid input, and then we can remove this break statement. So now what will happen is that this program will continuously ask the user to provide inputs. So select the options, and then the user will select options, and first this option will be sent to the victim machine, and then the next step would be to check which option is it. For example, if the user is selecting to run commands, or let's say if the user wants to upload a file or download a file from the victim machine, etc. And then if the user enters 99, we can break it. Otherwise he inputs a mistaken value or something, we can ask the user again that he has entered an invalid input. So we can almost repeat the same procedure on our victim machine as well. So we can say, so here we are receiving the user input and then printing it. Then we can say if user input is equal to 1, we can print out a statement called running system commands, and then we will create a function here that will handle this execution. But at the moment I'm just trying to develop the skeleton, and then I will create more and more functions. And then similarly, if I can say that else if user input equals to 99, we can break it. Otherwise we can say that else, let's remove this, and we can print out a statement here that user input invalid. Invalid user input. So now we have a structure developed. Here we will create a function that will handle the create function that will handle command execution. And similarly, if we go to it should be print. If we go to the victim machine, we will call the function here, function that will run commands. So now we have our bare bones skeleton set up. So our next goal would be to build on top of it. So I'm going to stop here.